Hi, this is Paul Lemberg. Let's go back to something I was talking about the other day, to resonance. See, it doesn't matter which part of your life we're talking about, whether we're talking about your health or your relationships or your business or your family, it all pretty much works the same way, which is that when you're vibrating at a frequency, when you're trying to tune in, when you're trying to resonate, if there's too much static, if there's too much noise, it's going to be hard to make that connection. It's going to be hard to hear. Have you ever heard of a signal to noise ratio? So the signal is the thing you want to come through loud and clear and sharp. And the noise, well, that's all the jangly stuff in the background. And if the signal to noise ratio is too low, if it's too small, then the signal's just not going to come through at all. And if it's a little bit better, well, you're going to struggle to hear. So you want to keep the signal high and you want to keep the noise low. And if you're not deliberate, much of your daily experience is noise. Not only that monkey mind, you've heard of that, and not the nonstop mental chatter, but large chunks of your daily experience. So a year ago, I had this pretty strange thing happen. So my girlfriend had died a few months before that, and from time to time, I would talk to her. Now, I don't know what you think about that. I could have been talking to myself, right? But you see, after a while, you feel like you can distinguish one voice from another and one personality from another. Now, you could say, well, oh, we call that schizophrenia. Anyway, I was asking her a series of questions. And she kept answering me the same way. She kept saying, pay attention. And it wasn't helpful. I'm saying, that's not helpful. Say more. And she'd just say, pay attention. That's all I kept hearing over and over again. Pay attention. So then, like right after that, another really weird thing happened to my iPhone. So you know auto text, you type in a few letters and it spells something out. So if I have P @ sign, that spells out my email address. So I text a lot with times because I'm always setting meetings for things. So I'd say 4:30 PT. And I've been using this phone for a while. All of a sudden, every time I typed PT, it switched to pay attention in all capital letters. And I know I didn't change it, and no one else changed it because no one else has the password to my phone. So it just changed. I say the universe changed it. I say she changed it. So look, no matter what happened, I'm not stupid. I can read the signs. And I started paying attention to things. And this was going on for a while. And then about 3 months ago, I spent 10 days at a silent retreat out in the Mojave Desert. And when you're in a 10-day silent retreat, things get very quiet on the outside. And then, well, then they get really loud on the inside. And I started hearing, pay attention again. And I heard it again and again. And I decided right then and there that pay attention had obviously meant a lot more than I thought it meant. Otherwise, why would they keep bringing it up? Okay, I want to talk about mindfulness for a minute. Now, mindfulness generally means a whole bunch of things, and mostly it relates to staying in the present and being conscious or aware in a non-judgmental way of your thoughts, your feelings, and your sensations. I think people really like the word mindfulness because it's very neutral, it's very secular, and non-spiritual sounding. Now, mindfulness as a practice is a very, very good thing, and it covers a lot of ground. And if you take up the mindfulness practice, your life is going to get better without a doubt. In all of my teaching, I strive to make things as simple and practical, and I like the word prescriptive. I try to make things as prescriptive as possible. I try to make them doable, and I always try to provide a path to action. So I want to talk about a specific aspect that fits into mindfulness that I call paying attention. Paying attention is just what it sounds like. It means paying attention to the present moment rather than the past or the future. It means paying attention to what's really there in front of you, not some illusion or some fixation or some obsession or your judgments or maybe something that's pissing you off. And all those things hook our attention pretty easily. It means paying attention to what matters now. You see, at any moment in time, you have a choice of where to focus your attention. You can put it on some random, inconsequential thing that hooked your attention, and you let it get hooked and you let it stay there. You can put it on a number of things at once, and sometimes we do that. Sometimes you can put your attention nowhere at all. That's what we do during meditation. You're not focused on anything. Or you could just put your attention on what matters now. What matters now? What matters to you most? What matters to you most and is going to make the biggest difference? Right here. And when you do that, your entire experience shifts. The noise goes away. It's much quieter on the inside. And all of your perceptions, taste, touch, sight, feeling, digital perceptions, they all become much, much sharper on every single plane. And I was getting to this. It's easier to deliberately vibrate on a specific frequency when all that background is dialed down and your focus is sharp, and it's easier to feel the resonance, which makes it much more possible to get in touch with your deep inner nature. And because you're paying attention to that one thing in the present moment, whatever you perceive, you're attending to with much greater clarity. Meaning, which was hidden or obscure from you, becomes obvious. And everything begins to make much more sense. Everything. The deeper meaning of things becomes apparent. You can see the signs. You can see the real significance. Now, simple as it is, paying attention leads to a kind of heightened consciousness, which gives you access to things that you need that you may not have had when you were in a less conscious state. The simplicity is awesome. Now, this is not some kind of walking meditation. It's not a new process you have to master. It's only this. Focus your attention on the one thing in front of you at this moment. And when I say in front of you, I mean the thing that has meaning for you right now. And do whatever it is you're doing, and do it wholly and completely. So when you're driving, you drive. When you're writing a report, you write a report. When you're lifting weights, you lift weights. When you're eating dinner, you eat dinner. When you're making love, you make love. And when you're watching TV, you watch TV fully and wholly with 100% of the attention. And you give each of those things, when you're doing them, all of your attention for the segment of time that you're currently in. Now, while you're paying attention, let the meaning come through. Now, that may not make sense to you right now, but do what I'm suggesting, and I promise you it will start to make sense. For now, just know that paying attention, you will start to see the deeper significance of things. Pay attention to that, and it can lead you to places that you weren't planning on going. And that meaning will open doors for you that were previously closed. And it will help you give birth to new ideas that you weren't even thinking of. And then when you're ready, you'll consciously and deliberately switch to a new segment of reality. You'll switch to something else that matters now. And then when you do that, give that your full 100% attention. Now, what's the payoff? The payoff is that you're going to be far more calm than you are now. And at the same time, you're going to have less stress. You see, stress is caused by the gap between where you are and the next place you want to go, and you're not there yet, and that's what causes stress for you. So all your stress is going to dial back. You're going to have far more energy. Why? Because you're not dispersing your focus, and it's not spread out all over the place, and you're paying attention to the present, and your stress is down, so you're going to have much more energy. You're going to have a greater level of understanding about just about everything that you put your attention on. Your intuition is going to explode for all the same reasons, because you're going to be dialed in, you're going to be focused, and the things that you need your intuition for are going to be beaming with you. So your intuition is going to go way up. And for the same reason, your level of new ideas is also going to go way up. The impact will be on your health. It will be on your business. It will be on your relationships. It will be on your family. It will be on your creativity. It will be on your productivity. You see, how could it not have positive impact on all those things? Everywhere you put your attention gets better. The impact will be everywhere. So to wrap this up, I only want to say, like I heard myself so many times, pay attention. This is Paul Lemberg, and pay attention for my next video, and I hope to talk to you soon.